Hey guys, and so for today's video I'm going to be doing two looks using the new Nomad Cosmetics Chicago Speakeasy palette. But before we get started, to help me out with that YouTube algorithm, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. So this is the next palette to make it into my ever-growing Nomad collection. This right here is going to be the outer packaging. I really like the artwork on this palette. I think it looks really nice. I think Nomad always does a really nice job with their outer packaging. Then when we open it up, it is not the same. It has velvet right here on the front. I think this is a really pretty palette. And when we open it up, absolutely love this color story. And the shimmers in here are absolutely beautiful. I'll put some swatches up here on the screen. So every palette that Nomad releases, they typically will partner with some type of organization and donate a portion of their proceeds. And a lot of their palettes do come with like this card that has like a brief description of the palette as well as the organization that they are partnering with. And for this particular one, it says, "Cause we are so proud to support Friends of the Chicago River organization that works to protect and restore the Chicago River for people and wildlife." And for this particular palette, it says, "Cozy with cocktails, wrapped in velvet and Art Deco design comes a mixology of colors inspired by decadent decors and libations, with warm liqueurs garnished with a vibrant twist, 12 indulgent mattes, and 5 exquisite multichromes." I think that this palette honestly swatched really, really well. I absolutely love the shimmers in this palette, and I am so excited to dive into them. You know, I haven't done, I think, some just standard browns for a little while, so I think I'll go ahead and dive into the browns. I'm going to do my brows and my eye base off camera, and I'll see y'all in a moment. So we're just going to accept that today is going to be a very bad brow day. I spent entirely way too long in them, and I don't want to redo them, so this is what we're working with today. So we're going to dive into this beautiful palette right here. And like I said, I think I'm going to work primarily with the browns today because I really want to use this shade right here. It's absolutely stunning. So I think to start off with, I'm going to go into this first brown shade right here, and this is called the Absinthe House. I am definitely not a big drinker. I never have been. I just have had some stuff happen in my life that alcohol just really is not for me. But I do socially drink from time to time, but it's not very often. I know how to enjoy my life without drinking, but I don't chastise people who do, as long as, you know, people are responsible. I absolutely love Nomad Cosmetics. I think the only palette by them I do not have was that Shanghai palette that they had initially released and then immediately discontinued. But other than that, I have all of their, or I believe I have all of their palettes. I think the very first palette that I got from them was, I think it's the Berlin Underground palette, and I got that actually as a product in one of my Ipsies quite a few years ago. And I fell in love with their formula and I've been collecting them ever since, and they're a fantastic indie brand. The shade's laying down really nicely. Very nice. So I think the next shade that I'm going to go into is going to be this cream shade down here, and this is called Prohibition, and I'm just going to use that to blend out the top of that. I actually went to Chicago with my husband about, maybe 2 years ago, and quite honestly, I have no desire to go back. We saw that park that they have in the city with that giant like bean sculpture in that garden. It was really pretty, but the Uber driver who took us there just about killed us. He was going like 50 in a 20, weaving in and out of traffic, and by the time my husband and I got out of the Uber, we told him, like, we're not paying you and we're not tipping you either, because he was slamming on his brakes, he was tailgating people, and it was an absolutely mortifying experience. I think I'm going to warm up that crease just a little bit more, and so I'm going to go into this shade right here, and this is called Windy City. I don't think I'll get to use every shade in this palette, but I should be able to use most of them. All right, all those shades practically blended themselves. And then to just slightly darken up the outer corner, I'm going to go into this darker brown shade right here, and this is called the Drunken Goat. Even though I'm a color enthusiast, I do definitely like neutral shadows for everyday wear, and I think that it's definitely the one style of eye makeup that looks flattering on everybody. All right, I'm going to go ahead and blend that out, and I will be right back, and we'll start diving into these beautiful shimmers. All right, now that those shades are all blended out, I did go ahead and lay down some NYX glitter primer. Even though these did swatch pretty well, at least in my opinion, I do find that sometimes with Nomad shadows, particularly their shimmers, you really do need to lay down a primer in order to get the most payoff. So that's just what I went ahead and did, and I'm just going to use 2 of the shimmer shades. So I think the first shimmer that I'm going to go in with is going to be this really beautiful orange kind of yellow shift right here. And this is called Boulevardier. You know, I actually took French in high school and I didn't remember a lick of it, didn't hardly pay attention in class. You know, part of me always feels so guilty dipping my finger into these pans just because I love the imprints on them and I'm always so afraid that I'm going to ruin them. That's a really pretty shade. I really like that. And then the last shade that I'm going to go in with is going to be this really beautiful kind of white to green yellow shift. And this is called Gin Ricky. I really like how that looks. Kind of a neutral with a little bit of pizzazz. But I'm going to go ahead and finish off the other eye off camera and I'll be right back. All right, so I finished off most of the rest of my makeup and now we're going to go ahead and do the lower lash line. So I think to do that, I want to go into this really beautiful kind of green shade right here. And this is called the Green Mill. I'm going to take that and stamp it on my lower waterline. Very, very dusty matte shades. Might be a little hard to see it on camera, but in person you can definitely see that there is green there. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off the other eye and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, and this is the completed look number 1. So I'd say overall I'm pretty happy with how this look turned out. I do kind of wish the green was just a little bit darker. It is, even in person, a little on the lighter side. So I kind of feel that this is going to be one of those pastel shades that is just essentially going to dust away throughout the day. But overall, I am very happy with how this look turned out. I absolutely love, 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 love the shimmer shades. I think they're absolutely beautiful. And the mattes blended out really, really nicely. I think it'd be very easy to make neutral looks with this palette, particularly on the right side. So having said that, let's go ahead and get started on look number 2. Hello, hello. We're going to go ahead and get started on look number 2. And I think today I'm going to try to do something a little bit more simple because I know I tend to go a little overboard with my eyeshadow looks. So as you can see today, the makeup is already pretty much done. So I think I want to play with the purples in this palette over here. So I won't be able to get to use all of the shades in here, but I'll have used most of them by the end of the video. So I've already primed and set my eyes and done the rest of my makeup. I think the first shade I'm going to start with is this purple down here, and this is called Blind Pig, and I'm going to put that in my crease. Just trying to do something that would be fairly quick, take you 5 minutes or so to do, and then you could be out the door. Like I said yesterday, these shadows essentially blend themselves, and I really love these soft muted purples. That shade laid down really nicely, and then the shade that I'm going to go in to blend that out is going to be this one right here. And this is called the Violet Hour. Technically, if you had blended that other shade out enough, you really wouldn't need to go into this one. But for the sake of the review, I'm just trying to use as many shadows as I can. Blends out absolutely beautifully though. And then today I'm not going to lay glitter primer. I'm going to do something a little bit softer. So I'm going to start with this shimmer shade right here. And this is called Aviation. And I'm just going to put that all over the lid. Still beautiful pigment. And then just to tap a little bit right in the center, I'm going to go in with this really pretty duochrome shade right here. And this is called Chicago Fizz. We're just going to tap, tap, tap right in the center. All right. So just something as simple as that literally took less than a couple of minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye off camera, do my mascara, and then we'll come back and we'll do the lower lash line. So I think to do my lower lash line, just to keep it kind of that light cohesive look, I'm just going to use the same 2 matte shades that I use, so the Blind Pig and the Violet Hour. Sometimes what I like to do is I'll keep the darker one to the last 3/4, and then on the inner part I'll do the lighter shade. All right, you guys, and this is the completed look number 2. And I'd have to say I'm very, very pleased with how this look turned out. I really, really love the just light kind of lavender purple tones. I just think it looks really flattering. And it was something that was very simple to do. Easily could be accomplished in 5 minutes or less. Because like I said, you definitely don't have to use that second matte shade if you don't want to. But yeah, I'm very happy with how this look turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys on out and I'll give you guys my final thoughts and opinions on the new Nomad Chicago Speakeasy palette. All right, you guys, so my final thoughts on the new Nomad palette. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Really love the color story in here. I think the shimmers are absolutely stunning. Like, I'm very happy with how this turned out. As I said, with some of Nomad's shimmers, I do recommend using a glitter primer if you want the most payout from it, but if you want kind of the softer kind of touch of color, you definitely don't have to go in with glitter primer. That's just my personal preference. But the mattes blended out really, really easily. No complaints there whatsoever. They practically blended themselves. And yeah, the shimmers are absolutely beautiful. I'm very happy with how both looks turned out. I think this one actually is probably my favorite of the two. And it's something very easy that you can just do quickly in the morning before you go to work if you want a little touch of color. So this palette is going to be added to my ever-growing collection of Nomad palettes. Very happy that I picked this up. Definitely, I think, a more unique color story for them, kind of more of the muted tones, not overly colorful. But this is getting 2 thumbs up for me. Very happy to have this. If you guys are looking for more of a neutral palette with a little bit of pops of color that you can add through the shimmers or some of the mattes, I think this would be a great palette to pick up. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching another one of my videos today. Make sure you subscribe to my channel because I do upload between 3 to 5 times every single week, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.